Hey guys, it's me Courtney and welcome to my channel. In today's video we are going to be putting two foundations head to head. One is the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Long Wear Foundation. The other one is the Flawless Lumiere Radiance Foundation. Both of these foundations are $48 for 1 ounce and they both come in 30 shades. In both of the foundations, I did get the color 5W1 Amber, and they do say that they're for normal, dry, combo, oily, so most skin types. The Lumiere foundation is supposed to be very weightless. It's supposed to be more skin-like and dewy, whereas the Flawless Fusion is more like a full coverage matte type of situation. And I know you're probably like, why would you compare those two? But the reason why I'm comparing them, one, because I bought the Flawless Fusion to test that one out, and then shortly after that the Lumiere foundation came out, so I was like, why not just sort of put them together? And to me personally, I feel like the Flawless Fusion, although it claims to be matte, to me it's more like a soft satin finish, so I feel like it's not that matte. And once I put both of them on, because I've been kind of trying these out for a while, they're more similar than not. The first one that I'm going to use is the Lumiere foundation. We're going to put that on this side, and now I'm going to give you a fair warning. Both of these run a little bit too yellow on my skin tone. Now it is workable, but I did want to mention that. I'm gonna do 2 pumps on both sides, mainly because what I've come to find is because it pumps out so tiny, 4 pumps usually works for my entire face. So this is the Lumiere foundation and no foundation, so it has a pretty decent amount of coverage. I do feel like it evens out the skin really nicely. Aside from feeling slightly tacky, like a little bit sticky, I don't feel like it gives me a super amount of luminosity. I don't feel like it's super radiant, especially like if you look at my just my skincare versus this, it's just very basic luminosity, if that makes sense. Now I'm gonna take the Flawless Fusion on this side. All right, now we're gonna start with 2 pumps just like we did on the other side, and a clean Real Technique sponge. All right, so now this is the Lumiere side and this is the Flawless Fusion. So as you can see, I am still shiny on the Flawless Fusion side. To me, there's not much of a difference from one side to the other. The colors match pretty well, and again, it just, aside from the Lumiere side feeling a little bit tackier, there's no difference in the way that they look. Neither foundation is super thick, neither foundation is uncomfortable, but what I will say is the Lumiere side does feel slightly heavier than the Flawless Fusion side. And while I think both foundations do a really good job of sort of blurring a little bit, I do feel like I see a little bit more skin peeking through on the Lumiere side. So definitely the Flawless Fusion side is more full coverage, which I do think that's what their claims were. I think the Lumiere foundation claimed to be a little bit more buildable to full, whereas the Flawless Fusion is more straight up full coverage. I consider both sides skin-like. Neither one of them look fake to me. Neither one of them look or feel crazy. You can definitely see a little bit more radiance, especially through here. But I feel like once I do my whole face and set everything, that's not gonna make that much of a difference. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup and then we'll come back and have a little chat. All right guys, so we're back and this is the look that we're essentially going with today. So this is what we're looking like. So Lumiere is on this side and Flawless Fusion is on this side. Now the one thing that I will say as far as the Lumiere foundation goes, I do feel like because this is more of like a sticky base or a tacky base, my highlighter went on a little bit heavier, whereas the Flawless Fusion side, it kind of, the highlighter went on very smooth, very soft, a little bit more subtle. But yeah, I think both sides look really good. Both sides look very blurring. I did set everything with the Makeup Forever Duo matte powder, and now that I've done that, both sides feel very similar. Neither side feels stickier than the other. Neither side feels heavy anymore. Like I said before, the Lumiere felt a little bit heavier, but now both sides feel pretty comfortable. I don't feel like either side is more luminous than the other, especially since we've set it. But now I'm gonna go ahead and get on about the rest of my day. It is 12:31, so we started a little bit late today. I'm gonna try to do an 8-hour wear test, so I'm thinking about 8:30. Might be sooner than that, depends on how I'm feeling at the end of the day. But alright guys, I'm back and this is what my face is looking like. Right here we have the Flawless Fusion side, and then right here we have the Lumiere side. Can you guys actually see a difference? I feel like I've been trying all day to really pinpoint like different things about each one, but to me they both look the same. What I will say is for the Lumiere side up close, this part right here has a little bit more pores showing through than the Flawless Fusion, but both of them are sort of showing. Both of them are showing. By the way, it is 7:58. I could do another 30 minutes, but I don't think it's gonna get really any worse than this or any better, so we're just gonna go with what we got. As far as the Flawless Fusion foundation goes in general, since I've gotten this foundation, this has been one of my favorite foundations to use because it goes on matte, but it's a very soft matte, and throughout the day, as you can see, it does kind of soften out even more. And even though it is it's a little bit more oily now, it still feels very comfortable. It doesn't really feel heavy, and then when I powder it and everything, it still looks really good. The Flawless Fusion to me is a very comfortable matte foundation. I feel like this foundation can work for a multitude of people, whether you're oily or dry skin, combo, whatever. I feel like this foundation is very workable for multiple skin types. As far as the Lumiere side goes, I feel like this foundation is very similar to the Flawless Fusion in that it does blur out the pores equally. Granted, it does go on a little bit heavier than the Flawless Fusion, but once I powdered it, it felt less sticky, less tacky, less heavy. But for somebody with oily skin, I don't know that this would be a good base for you, whereas the Flawless Fusion I think works on multiple levels. I just don't think the Lumiere foundation is one that I would recommend for multiple skin types, if that makes sense. On one of the occasions that I did try these two foundations side by side, my husband did say that he liked the Lumiere side better and that it looked a little bit more vibrant, which I mean I can understand that because it does have a very, very slight amount of sheen more than the Flawless Fusion side, but again, I feel like these two foundations are so similar. Now, I will say that while I do like both of these foundations and they both are very similar to me, I honestly don't think you need both of them. I think the Lumiere foundation is for somebody who maybe doesn't necessarily set their foundation with powder. Maybe they want a luminous, radiant foundation that they can just sort of put on and kind of keep it moving. And if that's the case, then I think the Lumiere foundation would work for that specific person. But for me, I just I feel like if I'm going to set it to mattify it anyway so that it's not sticky, I just prefer to just use my Flawless Fusion. I feel like this one just gives me a little bit more, and even with the wear time, because honestly on this side I'm oily on both sides. Although I am oily on both sides, I do feel like right about here I have a few more oils coming out, and now that my oils are peeking through, I'm starting to feel a little bit stickier, a little bit heavier on the Lumiere side again, whereas the Flawless Fusion side still feels very comfortable. So I think if you're in the market to get one, I would go ahead and go with the Flawless Fusion. I prefer this one over this one, even though this one isn't bad at all. Alright guys, that about does it for me. Hopefully this video was helpful. If so, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know which side you guys prefer. Let me know if you guys can even see a difference. Like, again, it's just so similar to me. But yeah, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video if the mood suits you, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.